All right. I'm excited to share with you our flip display system. So here we go. We've worked with many clients and we've heard a lot of the same pain points, especially in the cannabis industry. The product line is always changing. The compliance and messaging might vary by state. Every store footprint is different. Shelf space is inconsistent. So you might be under counter or on shelf, or you might have a full shelf. What this leads to is a condition where you have a bunch of different scenarios and different displays, and keeping track of it all and managing it becomes very time consuming and challenging for brands to show up consistently and in a way that feels intentional and feels on brand. So this is expensive because of the amount of time that it takes the team to manage, but also just creating a number of displays and then recreating them over and over again. So what we did was we developed a system based on these principles of flexibility, modularity, and updatability. So the goal of our system is really to address the concerns on the previous slide, but do it in a way that is intentional so that brands can grow with their product offering by having a solution that executes in these ways. How do we do that, and how are we different? Basically, the traditional route, the way that most brands will develop a display program, will often happen pretty quickly because there's usually a very immediate need. But the challenge is often most displays are rigid in their form factors, so there's limitations. An upright display under counter doesn't really show as well. There's a tendency to, over time, be outdated. The different registration for the product packaging changes. It becomes something that is not useful. There's usually a very long lead time, at least 3 to 6 months is common. It can be very expensive, especially if there's tooling costs or you're vacuum forming. It's going to get quite expensive. There's limited support from a lot of these fabricators, and then you really are at the whim of the retailer. If it's a display that's too big or too small or whatever, it can end up anywhere, and that can be challenging and it's overwhelming to manage. Thinking about that, we go from limited and outdated to something that's flexible and refreshable and consistent. Everything that we produce is made in the United States. We can be on counter within about 3 weeks' time. It's affordable. There's a simplicity to our displays that really allows the brand to shine forward. It's more about the product and the branding. It's not about the display. The display allows you to do a lot because it's magnetic, so anything can attach to it. It's agency supported. So we designed this from first principles thinking of what is the minimal amount of material that we need to execute on these principles. And that's how we came up with this design. But we also provide planograms and setup renderings for every display that we design. We give your team a rendering to help in the field. Our displays are modular. They can expand to any size. And it gives you a system so that you're not redoing it every time. There's templates that we provide that allow brands to move quickly and make updates fast. There's a financial benefit to improving your displays and refreshing them and feeling like there is life in your brand. Consumers recognize that. And having an eye-catching display, especially in an industry where there's limitations on advertising, that opportunity in store is crucial because it's really the last point of contact before someone makes a purchase. Standing out in store is very important, and that shelf presence needs to be intentional. The way that we think about displays is very simple. The way that we approached this was to create a modular system that allows the flexibility of a small POS to a large shelf and really anything that's in between. The printable magnetic collateral and all the pieces are magnetic. We have our base display, and then the collateral is magnetic on top, and then we have these backer cards that are also magnetic. And then we have some core components that just help with presenting product. The advantage of a magnetic system is that it gives us infinite possibility. We really think of these displays as real estate for the shelf. So because it's magnetic, anything that we design that has magnets built into it, and we do 3D printing, we can do fully custom risers like this with extruded names and different parts and pieces to really make your brand stand out and feel unique. And also to support the different form factors of the product, especially if you have custom hardware or custom packaging. This allows the ability to present that very intentionally with the 3D printing capabilities that we have in our studio. So again, thinking about this as a blank canvas, that this is your real estate on shelf, and then you're able to make a lot of updates to fit whatever scenario or whatever product offering you have currently. So here are some different configurations, and the top row is, an upright configuration. The bottom is laying down. It's the same display. So a small display, which could feature a single product or maybe highlight a deal that's going on currently, can work on shelf as well as under counter. The product is attached with magnets, so it doesn't matter what the form factor is really, because it will attach to the display. The medium-sized display is a size that we recommend for single product up to 3 products. And if you have additional storytelling or you have some additional details that you want to mention and speak about, or some visuals or some call to action, this is a nice footprint. This is a very popular footprint. It's a 10 by 10, so it fits in most scenarios. The medium kit of parts is a version of that display that also incorporates a backer card for additional visuals or branding or call to action, as well as a riser to stand up the product upright. And then there's also a wooden rail that gives you the ability to register product laying down. The rail isn't something that's really necessary. As you can see, you can lay product down, and these are also magnetic. But there's something nice about being able to have something for people to register to. It gives you a little bit more confidence that these will be set up the right way. And then we have a large display that's really great for 3 to 5 products. So expanding that out. And then, of course, the large kit of parts also brings in that riser, the acrylic riser, as well as the rail. And this one's showing it with the story card holder. The story card holder is pretty cool. It's something that is magnetic, so it goes upright, it lays down, and the ability to swap out a postcard is really what makes this thing special. Postcards are very easy to produce, they're cheap, and if you have new product coming in, or you have dropping a new SKU, or you have some kind of partnership or some kind of deal going on with a particular retailer, this allows those quick changes in the field that are extremely affordable. It's pennies to produce postcards. And then you also have that postcard as an asset that you can hand out and use that collateral for promotional purposes, but also represented in the display. And then thinking about some larger presentations, it could just be a large name, could be all sorts of different types of product descriptors. So this is essentially 2 large displays side by side, and they're connected by a large magnet. Here it is laying down. And then here it is with the backer card and with some of those other components, the story card, the riser, and the rail. So these are our core components. Again, we can get very customized and very unique to the brand, but these are the base units, and these are the components that really give you a lot of flexibility in really any scenario that you come across. This is a detail of exactly what that magnetic story card is. The story card simply pops in. It's magnetic on the bottom and the back, so it can stand upright, it can lay down, and it also has a magnet on the bottom. And there's also the ability to attach product to the side. So if you wanted to highlight a pen or something, or a dram, we can customize a printed part that would slide on, and then you would be able to elevate that product with more of a robust presentation. We've expanded the idea of the magnet to this wall system. We're targeting slot walls. Slot walls are some of the most unfortunate conditions in retail. I think. It's not something that often looks great. So this idea is taking from our existing product set of like our wall displays, our shadow boxes, and essentially creating a shadow box version for the wall. So these are fully magnetic, so the shelving can attach magnetically. We can even look at attaching other panels or even digital screens, which just makes it a much more dynamic presentation. And then, of course, you can merchandise product next to it or underneath it. Our display packs, in an effort to make this as easy as possible for our customers to get started, we offer 10 packs. 10 packs are a great way to test out the displays, see how they work, see the quality. And then there are certainly economies of scale. So at 50, 100, 250, and 500, there are price breaks that would start to go into effect. But these are 5 basic kits that we recommend starting with, that we see just a lot of great use cases with. And that's how we think about scaling a brand in retail, going from a small product display and then maybe a larger activation by brand. This is one that we did for one of our clients. And then eventually scaling that into a full shop and shop experience or a full retail experience, which allows you a lot of possibilities to get very creative and very unique with things like, for example, branding a pool table. We actually have graphics on this pool table. We made a custom light. You can see in the background are some of our shadow boxes that, again, are magnetic. So this graphic swaps out by magnets. Shelves, these square shelves, are attached with magnets. So it's truly very customizable and versatile.